Lentir here, the nutrition lifestyle strategist. It's been a hot minute. We are so excited to be with you this evening, Alero and I, to talk to you about the four most common mistakes women make, women with womb conditions make. So let me get Alero for joining us this evening. It's really an exciting time because there's so much change happening within my organization. And that's what I've been working on, in all honesty. Hi, Alero. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Thank you for joining. So this evening, we want to talk to you, as I said, about the top, in our opinion, the most common mistakes women with womb conditions make on their journeys, you know, once you're now aware. Because, of course, we know that the condition has been there and you just weren't aware, you know. So we just wanted to go over those points today. But before we get into that, I will just briefly share how I got into this space. So as for those of you that don't know, my name's Nina Lemtier, and I'm a nutrition lifestyle strategist. I got into this because I had to figure out why my fibroids had grown. One so big. One was as big as a football, causing havoc in the best part of my 20s, and I didn't know. And when I was finally diagnosed, in all defense, I just ignored my symptoms. You know, I was just too busy. And I just thought it was normal as well, you know. And to cut a long story short, I had a myomectomy that I had to advocate for myself at the time, to plead with the consultants to not take all the fibroids out. Because what they basically told me was that they kind of tried to prepare me to have a hysterectomy. Yeah, a hysterectomy. But kind of tried to say they would do a myomectomy, but actually I should be prepared for a hysterectomy. So I said, no, please just take the largest fibroids out and leave the smaller sized ones. And thankfully that's what they did. And it was very touch and go because I'd lost so much blood, even with what they had removed, and it was much longer than anticipated. So when I got out of that procedure, I just knew I couldn't go through that again. And I really needed to figure out why they've grown so big as well. So everything changed. Fast forward, it's been 10 years now. 10 plus years. I've not felt better. I've had my 3 children, all healthy pregnancies. I've never, you know, over the years, I can actually say that I've been feeling better than when I was in my 20s, when I was kind of always tired, constantly being ravaged by these fibroids, and they've not grown back. And the ones that were removed have been getting smaller over the years, and now they're super small, and I believe they will dissolve, you know, one day. So we're here today to just raise awareness. I'll let Alero share a bit about her journey and what has got her into this advocating space as well.
Thank you so much, Nina. Good evening, everyone. As you said, my name is Alero, aka Sisi Alero. I started this journey from way back to 2017. First, it was because I had a history of fibroids, then adenomyosis, endometriosis. I've had in the past also had ovarian cysts and hernia. And yeah, it's just been a roller coaster of looking for ways to have a better health, to feel better in my body, and not getting the results I wanted or needed. After over 3 decades of surgeries, trying different things, I got to a point where I just couldn't handle it anymore. And I decided, you know what, I'm not going to keep cutting myself. And in all fairness, when I had the fibroids, after my second surgery with fibroids, I met Nina on here, and that was, I think, during the lockdown, and she pulled me through, you know, changing my diet, eating healthy, taking care of my body. And I, after that, my fiber stopped growing and I felt a lot better. I was more energetic. Um, but after I found out I had adenomyosis and later on endometriosis, I realized that was the struggle I was going through. Even though I didn't know how to, handle that holistically, I did my best to eat healthy, do cut off the things I needed to cut off and all of that. But eventually last year, um, I had a total hysterectomy, 4 organs removed, my ovaries, fallopian tubes, cervix, and uterus. Even though they're all gone now, I do feel a lot better. I have a better quality of life compared to before. Um, and I must say, if you stick into eating healthy, keeping fit, just taking care of my body, I know it's a lot better. I'm thankful that I'm still here, able to the mistakes I've learned or I've made along the way. I can share with other people to help them so they don't make those mistakes. And at the end of the day, you really do not have to have a hysterectomy if you can do the right things as well to take care of your body.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing. It's very, very inspiring to essentially be vulnerable and kind of open up your life. And I know you've faced, obviously, coming, we're both Africans
Yeah,
and we get a certain, almost scolded for talking about things that are a bit of a taboo.
yeah,
And you're almost made to feel like you should be ashamed
yeah.
of yourself, and that's absolutely not the case.
Mm.
So thank you for being open and sharing. And if you've got any questions, feel free to put them down. We'll do our best to answer them, but I will kick off with our four. I didn't want to forget the most important ones, so I've got them written down. Yeah, four most common mistakes. And I made this mistake for far too long. And I do actually believe it contributed to the size they grew to and to the disruption that they caused. So ignoring early symptoms.
Yeah,
This is one that is so prevalent, right, Ilero?
yeah,
And you can, just with the busyness of life, you can just keep overlooking certain things and that it's not quite right, but for some reason you're just not addressing it. So what's your perspective on that, Ilero?
yeah. So it's one of the major things that as women we actually overlook. Your body speaks to you. Your body tells you when there's something wrong. So when there's a hormonal imbalance, it could be your periods are getting heavier, or you're you know you're feeling tired unnecessarily. You're drained. You're bleeding. Your period's coming earlier than expected. Your period is staying longer than it should. All of these signs are there, but we just push it aside and keep going. And you eat something. Have you noticed you eat something? That's the way you feel. You feel maybe probably bloated, or you feel sick. That's your body
Yeah.
speaking to you, but you carry on. Especially if you're eating McDonald's or something, I'm not just focusing on McDonald's, but I'm just saying
Mm,
eating, junk food personally is your body tells you oily food,
yeah.
fatty food, all of them stuff. Your body is speaking to you, but you just ignore it and carry on.
Yeah.
And stress as well adds to it. When your body is so stressed, it's triggering so many things. Your body has its own way of working. So when you're
Mhm.
overdoing it, overloading it, it starts to give you a signal. It's like when you're driving a car and your fuel, your petrol is going low, it starts flashing. So your body
Mm,
gives you those flashing warning signs, but we tend to ignore those signs
yeah.
until it's probably gone too late and you end up having surgery really, or maybe your fibroids or whatever it is that's happening is gone to a point where you actually have to have, surgery or something.
Yeah. Absolutely. And aches and pains, things that are out of the
Mm,
ordinary. If you've not changed your exercise regime, you've not done anything like that to kind of expect a bit of aches and pains, then
mm,
you need to investigate further. Absolutely don't ignore signs and symptoms, and you've summarized it correctly. It's our body's way of communicating with us that there's something wrong. So get it checked out, and don't ignore, because you'll have to give it time at some point anyway. So it's whether
That's
you do
right.
it
Yeah.
willingly or you do
Yeah.
it by
It's like
force.
exactly like a car. If you ignore the warning sign, it's just going to pack up. Just you can't do nothing at that point. Then to actually
Exactly.
take care of the body. Yeah.
Exactly. And you're now being reactive, isn't it,
Yes.
rather than
Exactly.
proactive to
Proactive.
a degree.
Mm.
Okay. So the second mistake, most common mistake, is going to a consultant appointment or a doctor's appointment and you've not written down your questions. You've not written down your questions. It's just, you're really setting yourself up for leaving the appointment feeling like you've not been served, to the best
Yeah.
of what you expected. And this
Mhm.
is because it's an emotional setup. You might hear something that you didn't expect, whatever the situation may be. But if you've written down pre-planned questions, you're able to be more objective about what the focus point is going to be. You don't kind of digress onto something that isn't so important. You
Yeah.
can look at the
Less.
bigger picture
Yeah.
with going through your pre-planned questions, and then it helps you have more of an overview of the situation, because we can often focus on that one comment that made you feel a certain way and then forget about the potential
Yeah.
of getting it expanded. And of course, one opinion, because essentially that's what you're getting from a consultant. You're getting their life expertise and you're getting their perspective on the situation, is just one perspective. So never think it's the end. Get a second opinion, get a third opinion, so that again you're just widening the perspectives. So having questions written down is a key, to just keep things objective, so that you can leave feeling like you've got your questions answered and you're not thinking, oh, I wish I asked that, and I wish I expanded on this. Anything you want to add to that?
Um, I guess you said most of it, but also because I don't know if it happens in your surgery, but in my surgery and a couple of surgeries I know, they tell you when, like, if you go in and say, "Oh, I've come for this and I've come for that," they tell you, "I can only answer one thing." So yeah, you've not had that before. Like if I go in and say, "Oh, I notice I've got my blood pressure is being a bit high, and
Right.
also I'm having problems in my ear." They're like, "Oh, we're going to focus on your blood pressure today. We can't do both of them. You have to book an appointment for your ear." Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Right.
So it's best for you, as Nina has said, to have your questions ready. If you know the most important thing to you at that point is your ear, then focus on your questions based on that and
Mm.
everything that you know, so you don't forget what exactly took you there. Because if you go in and you say, "Oh, my blood pressure is high," and but remember, you left home because of the pain you're feeling in your ear.
Mm.
If you
Mm.
start talking about your blood pressure and then digress and go in there and come back to your ear, then they're going to say book another appointment for that. And remember, that's what took you there in the first place. So before
Mm.
you leave for that appointment, make sure you already know why you're going there and what's the most important reason you're going there. Have that written down on the top of your list.
Yeah.
So that if you find that your doctor's one that's going to listen to you more, then you can now go to
Yeah.
the rest of what you've written down. So make
Right.
sure whatever is important, order priority is right on top of that list. But never ever um, go just feeling like you know what you're going to
Yeah.
do, so that you will come back and say, "Oh my God, I didn't ask this question."
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And I just think that's it, because it depends who you meet. You might have someone that's really compassionate,
Yeah.
really, ready to listen to you, ready to give you resources. And then you might meet someone that is a bit offish,
Mm,
just wants to focus on that one thing, doesn't want to hear anything else.
mm,
So you just got to be prepared. So yeah, that's such
mm.
a good point. Um, Hi,
The late, yeah,
Andrea. Andrea saying, yes, you can only report one symptom in one appointment.
Yeah,
Yeah, wow. So you've obviously experienced what,
I have.
11.
I have experienced it a few times. And then after that, I said, you know what? I know what I'm going with, but now I'm just gonna just go with my with my book with me, and yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Thanks. That's such a good point. Okay, so number 3, the third most common mistake is following generic
But
advice. Going on Google, putting something in, and just taking on whatever you've read,
mm,
being in a community, which is a great thing to obviously be part of, but you're kind of just going by what you're hearing and just applying it directly to your personal situation. It's a big no-no. It's a big
big
no-no
one.
for so many reasons, because we're all different. We all respond to, things differently. And what works for one woman might not work for you, and it's just understanding that we have different variables affecting us in different ways. We've got different emotional experiences, we've got different traumas, so many different things that impact how our bodies function,
Right.
today. So it's important to take on the information as it is. However, understand that you have to get your own personal guidance via your consultant, your doctor, your nutritionist, get it all personalized so that you're able to leverage from your lifestyle,
Mm,
decisions, the diet decisions you're making. All these things impact how you're going to experience whatever it is you've read,
definitely.
whatever it is you're meant to drink. It could be a
Mm,
tea,
mm,
it drops, to put in your smoothies, whatever, for you to optimize the impact of
mm.
that. Is once you really understand your body on a personal level, you're able to get so much more, from whatever it is. So that's what I would say on that. Do you have anything to add?
Uh, Again, you said most of it. So yeah, really, we're all unique. Our bodies are unique to each one. Um, the fact that, I could be lactose intolerant, the next person wouldn't be. So if you're complaining or saying, oh, I'm lactose intolerant and the only things I can drink are this, and this, and then I follow that and I react to it, So you take everything with you read, you digest, you go through it, you sieve, as we say, you go through it, and whatever it is that you feel is similar to what you're going through, you can write that down. Again, everything you do, speak to a doctor. Do not treat yourself from what you read, from what you hear. People saying, okay, mix some ginger and garlic and this and that. It would help this after 10 days or all of that. You don't have any idea what you're allergic to, how your body reacts to these things. So before you decide to, follow what you're saying or what people are saying works for them, speak to a doctor.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a level of understanding, on a deeper cellular level about your genetics, what is really kind of persistent in your family history.
Exactly.
Are you more predisposed to fibroids? That will impact maybe your experience in regards to surgery. Some women, they're doing surgeries to remove fibroids or other conditions like endometriosis, and they're growing back within weeks. Like,
That's it.
one lady I spoke to, literally from
Weeks,
she had surgery, within weeks the
weeks.
fibroids showing on the scans. So someone like that, possibly genetics is quite strong in
Strong.
regards to being predisposed to, to the fibroids.
That
Who knows?
is crazy. That
But
is crazy.
once you're more aware, then you're probably going to be thinking twice about surgery, because there's no point doing
No,
surgery
exactly.
if you're just going to have them grow back,
In
really,
weeks,
in weeks.
my goodness.
Yeah. So, yeah, absolutely.
We've got a
Get personal.
question. Mm.
There's a question. Go.
Yeah.
I've not seen it. Okay.
Nafisa.
Right.
Hi, Nafisa. He said, I have a question. What are some daily practices we can do to support womb health naturally? Uh, well, I'd say start by keeping fit, exercise, sleep well. Don't, a lot of people say this because it's busy, they sleep 4 hours. I don't know how they do that. I know we've done it back in the days, but I mean, as you get older as well, your body needs to rest. 8 hours of sleep If you can't do that, at least do 6 to 7. 4 hours, 3 hours of sleep does not cut it at all.
Mm,
Your diet, what you eat. I know Nina is going to explain better in that area. She's a nutritionist, but especially what we feed our body is what our body gives back to us. So if you're
yeah,
feeding your body with things that are unhealthy, things that are not good for it, it's going to, produce what you've given to it. So input and output, really. So for you to have a better health, better body, then you have to take care of your body, take care of your health, take care of what you put in here, so that whatever is going to bring out is going to be beneficial for you.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And what I would add, Nafisa, to your question, thanks for your question, is just really simplifying your habits and your daily habits. So get accustomed with, for example, waste removal. You know, it's not a concept that we think of often. However, you should be doing number twos. I hope everyone knows what I
Yeah.
mean when I say that. At least once a day, you know, and that will help balance your hormones in itself. Just your body able to eliminate the waste that builds up, you know, inside your body. So that directly will support your womb health, you know, your ability to remove waste from your body. And obviously you'll do that through what you ingest, particularly before you sleep, and then what you do in the morning. So what's your morning routine looking like? Are you taking a prebiotic? Do you have a probiotic? Are you eating probiotic rich foods? Are you, you know, what are your dominant foods, and how frequently are you eating as well throughout the day? If you're finding that you're skipping breakfast and then having a huge meal, I don't know, when you can, and then you're not having anything else, and then that meal is predominantly processed carbs or even just bleached, not particularly unhealthy food, but it's not really whole food. So something like a large plate of white rice and stew or something is, again, it's falling into the category of processed, even though it is rice. So that's a food that your body will struggle to digest, and you'll find that those kind of foods stay in you much longer, and it will impact your ability to, you know, keep that cycle smooth. So just little adjustments in regards to your habits and processes, and just making sure that you're eating frequently in smaller sizes is ideal, and just making sure you're fueling throughout the day regularly. And obviously hydration is a huge one. If you're not well in regards to hydration, then that's going to impact again how your body eliminates waste, and your digestive health and your gut health. So everything is, it's like a interconnected ecosystem, and everything is, you know, is going to be affected by each step that you take. So just be mindful, try not to get overwhelmed, and just have daily principles that you're consistent with, and then you start to see those changes over time pretty quickly as well. The body responds pretty quick when you like Alera, you give it the right fuel, and you are giving your body, you know, nutritious whole foods. I hope that answers your questions. Hi Ifa, oh, I miss you too. How are you? I hope you're well. You've crossed my mind a couple of times. I hope you're doing great. Great, great. What can we do to prevent fibroid growth after myomectomy? I've heard vitamin D and green tea extract. Yes, that's, you know, D3, and combinations. So it's really important to understand that you can take supplements, but when you take them in the right synergy at the right times, and your diet is very, it's a supplement in itself, then you're really going to see
Okay.
changes. So I would say definitely look at your combinations, the times you're taking it, and then your diet as a whole, as I've always said to you as well. But that would be the focus. But green tea extract is, there is studies that prove it is very critical and quite instrumental in particularly the persistence of fibroids, and stopping them from growing. Nafisa, asking any herbal tea recommendations. Do you have any, Alero?
Oh, the only, well, I don't personally, tell people to take what I take. You have to find out what works for you, really. For me, because I've had a history of bowel endometriosis and I've had surgery for that, I still find it difficult to do the number twos, like Nina said. Um, it's a bit of a struggle. I have to take lactose and all of that, Movicals, to be able to go, which the doctors are also looking into to see. I'm praying and trusting God. There's no more endo there again because it's beginning to get worse. But what I work with is green tea because I notice green tea helps me um with digestion. So when I notice I can't go, I instead of making one tea bag, I make two. I've actually just had a mug of it. And yeah, vitamin D is also good. It helps a lot. And I haven't tried it yet. I keep saying I'm going to magnesium to sleep better because of the struggles. But yes, it's mostly green tea for me, chamomile tea and peppermint tea as well. I think those are the three herbal teas I have stocked up.
Yeah, yeah, great choices.
Mm,
Yeah, I have those,
mm.
and I also have red bush tea,
Oh, I
which
haven't had that in a while.
yeah, I love that.
Mm.
And I add like the RG a
Oh
boost because I love,
yeah, oh yeah, I
particularly
do
during
have that.
the
I
period.
do have that. Mm.
Yeah, so I
Thanks to you, by the way. Yeah,
and can't live without it. And because I'm so active, the days when weekends are just constant, like on the go all day from early,
I know.
not supplementing with that, I feel it. So it's a great time to boost. So if you can add in a nice natural based supplement that mimics fruits, naturally
Fruit. Yeah.
fruits, and it's been fortified, this is so key, because you've just got direct kind of absorption.
Mm,
Have that at least twice a day, in the morning, before bed. And it's great to curb a sweet tooth as well. Because obviously before your period, you're feeling more like you want sugary things. So that is very strategic for me personally. So boosting my teas with supplements, and yeah, the green tea, chamomile. I've got ginger and lemon, and red bush. Those are probably my
mm,
favorite.
mm.
Peppermint, yeah, love peppermint.
Love.
Um, there was a question here. Cheryl Louis,
Nafisa, does
sorry,
that answer your question? Okay, she says thank you.
Cherylis Love. Okay, fab. Does this apply with ladies with ovarian cysts? I'm currently reading your book. Oh, first of all, thank you for buying
Thank
my book.
you.
Thank you. I really pray you get value. Yes, it does, because this, we're here, we're speaking to women with womb conditions,
Mm,
whatever those conditions might be, because essentially it's imbalances, it's deficiencies, and obviously it's chronic for a big part of your life before you're aware. So
exactly.
obviously there's a lot of yeah, it's caused certain conditions to kind of be more pervasive. So if you've got ovarian cyst, it's a case of, again, taking on what we've discussed, simplifying your diet, getting tested for just understanding what works with your body more from a cellular level, and just being consistent with simple steps to make sure your body's ticking over daily. And within a few weeks of just tweaking your morning routine, your nighttime routine, um, eating more frequently from the right food groups, you realize, wow, I feel so much better. Your body feels lighter, and things are just much more in balance. So yeah, the answer is absolutely yes. Cheryl, I hope that helps.
Yeah.
Um, have I missed any more? Okay,
No,
and saying puka turmeric tea. Oh, that sounds with RG is great for me. That sounds fabulous. I'm going to try that.
yeah,
Thank you. I
never
take
seen that.
capsule, but that sounds great.
Mm.
Thanks for sharing that, Andia.
Can I ask a quick question, Nina? With turmeric, um, I cook everything I cook with has turmeric, ginger, and garlic.
Mm.
So do I need to also take supplements as well with turmeric oil?
I would say no if you're constantly cooking with turmeric.
Constantly. Every
Yeah,
single thing's got that in
yeah,
there.
that's your daily dose. So yeah, because supplements should only supplement areas that
Supplement, exactly.
are
Yeah.
grey, where you really know, okay, I need this support kind of thing. But your
Mm,
diet is the main focus, and then
main
supplements
thing. Okay.
should layer onto that.
Mm.
Sure. Okay, so I'll go with our final point.
Final question.
So the number 4 of most common mistakes is delaying action until fertility is compromised. So not doing anything about whatever your situation is until you're not falling pregnant. Like by then you've cut your chances, in regards to fertility. You've just being proactive is so critical when you're even looking at fertility, because your age will play a role depending on when you found out that, okay, now I'm not falling pregnant. The resources that will be allocated to you is now impacted, because I think it's 40 or 42 from that age you won't get IVF on the NHS. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, they're about 40.
Yeah, 40 or 42. So you really have to be proactive and don't wait till fertility is being, your fertility is being compromised. And I know the kind of consensus with um, doctors is they kind of want you to wait until you can't fall pregnant. So you have to almost be like, no, I don't want to wait till then. What can I do to help myself now? That's how you have to be, because you'll generally be told, oh, go away and let's see if you have a problem. Don't worry
Mm,
about it. And
mm.
actually, that's not what we should be doing. What do you think?
Excuse me. Um, I'm going to use myself as an example. So, especially if you're one that's not married yet, you don't have a partner, so you're not ready. Let me just say you're not ready to have a child yet. Don't wait until it's too late, as Nina said. I know a few people said to me, "Oh, why not preserve your eggs?" I've got friends that were really worried because I was in and out of hospital. I was having so many surgeries, but because I'm a believer, I kept the faith. I was like, "No, nothing's gonna happen. I'll be all right." And because I was also going through depression at that point, I'm still like, I look back now and I can't see any way I would have done it any different, because at that point all I was interested in was getting better. When you're very ill, having severe or stage 4 um, endometriosis, or having adenomyosis, you don't have a partner, you don't have a husband, you're not thinking about baby because you're barely managing yourself as a person. So that's the last thing that will come to the mind of people that are in that situation or category. But
Mm,
so if you're in that situation, please don't wait till it's too late. You need to try it, find a way, make a decision, preserve your eggs, so that when you're ready, you can still have that child. Um, I just felt, you know what, I can't even deal with the baby at this point. I need to get better. I'll have a child. I will have a child. And then eventually I had my uterus taken out and I don't have kids. So I keep saying, emphasizing on this, don't let it get too bad. Because when you find that, oh, my fallopian tubes are damaged, or my ovaries are damaged, or this and that, you think, okay, what's the point? So don't let it get to that point where you have no solution, no way back, or no way out of it. Find a way of, or should I say, even if you're your 20s or your early 30s, don't even wait to have a problem with your womb. Go for a checkup, find out what you need to do. Just make sure you're okay and do what you have to do before it's too late. Don't
yeah,
wait till it's too late.
yeah. Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thanks for giving such a key perspective. Once you're in stage 4 of certain, you know, conditions, and it's more of like survival. You know, it's more like, I just need to be well, I just need to be
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And that is the most important thing: your health, your mental
Your
health.
health.
You
Yeah.
know, children, they're great, but if you're not healthy, you know, you
Come on, it.
you
Exactly.
need to be able to look after them, isn't it? So yeah, absolutely, what you said is spot on. And thank you for sharing from such a personal point of view. You're getting lots of lovely comments as well. um yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
it's yeah, you've just got to be proactive, but you have to look after yourself
You
and
have to.
get advice, you know, get second opinions,
Mm.
and just see what you can do, even if it's just checking your BMI.
Mm.
Are you a weight wise, like, so that if you meet someone in a year or whatever, you're ready to go. You're not going to be
That's it.
told, oh, we can't do anything because you have to lose weight, because they'll tell you, but
Yeah.
they're not going to have, you know, the treatment because
Yeah.
you're overweight. So anything you have to do, just prepare, be proactive, and
Yes.
look
Look
after
after
yourself.
it.
Yeah,
Yes. Your
yourself.
body, take care of your body. That's all you've got. Just take care of it.
Yeah, yeah. And if that's saying yes, it's so true. It does become about survival and quality of life.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And you're saying love and light to you, Alero. Absolutely.
Thank you, Angie.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining, ladies. That's what we wanted to highlight today. Really just do not compromise on those 4 steps, because those 4 steps are so critical. They're just critical for trauma exposure, unnecessary, you know, experiences that you may have to go through because you just delayed things. So talk to someone, get a third party involved in regards to your personal journey. And anytime you're more accountable, anytime you're invested. For me, what was really critical for my ability to develop habits that now serve me is investing, literally paying, you know, people to show me the way. And then because I've put money there, I was like, I'm learning all of this and I'm going to
Yes.
progress in this, because where your focus goes, energy will flow.
That's right.
So don't be afraid to invest in your health, in your journey, because I think
Mm.
that's when you really focus. And that's just
Mm.
what I found in my experience.
Yeah.
It's been very instrumental in my quality of life today. And yeah, just clarity in personal decisions, personal life, because everything's interlinked, isn't it? You know, your work life, emotional life, personal life, love life, everything's all interlinked. But yeah, thank you for joining. And anything you want to share before we go?
Yes. I'm just going to do this. She doesn't know I'm going to do this. If you haven't bought Nina's book, Fear the Surgery,
Oh, thank
please,
you.
you can get this on Amazon. Trust me, you won't regret it. You
Thank you.
should get this book, grab the book, and you'll learn more about how to care for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And have a non-compromising approach to
That's it.
your health and your mental health. Light and love to you all. Thank you, Andia, for joining.
Thank you for
Ifat,
those who bought it. Thank you so much.
all ladies. Sorry if I didn't mention you. There was quite a few of you, but thank you. And we'll see you next month, God willing. Look
Next
after
month, third
yourself.
Sunday.
Oh
Take
yes, yeah.
care.
Yourself, and don't settle for less. All right.
Bye,
Thank you. Bye.
everyone.